The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. I have a very interesting guest today. You can see the New England Patriots logo behind me. He has a podcast about the Patriots, but there's a lot more to his story than that. We're going to talk to him in a minute. But before we get to him, I'm going to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we have A1 Auto Unlimited LLC in Wareham for all your auto needs. We have the Ponderosa Sportsman's Club in Acushnet. We have Boombox in Middleborough. We have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy there is always looking for new scrap metal, wheels, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have Uplifted Nutrition in Taunton. We have Comfort Upholstery in East Bridgewater. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have Alpha Health and Fitness Club in Rockland. We have the Riverside Cafe in Wareham, open 6 days, all except Wednesday, 7 to 1. They make the best breakfast in the neighborhood. We have a Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have Auto Clinic in Rockland. Great to have them back. We have Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Stell in Brockton. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have European Auto Sales in Whitman. We have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have the Auto Shop in Hanover with Master Mechanic Ed Rooney. We have Haven Psychiatric Services right here in the building in room 211. We have Eli's Auto Care in Taunton. We have the Country Whip Sweet Shop in Acushnet. We have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington on Route 58. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Joe's Diner in Taunton, and we have Countertops Express. Joe's Diner is in Taunton, and we have Countertops Express in North Attleboro. Experts in the installation and removal in quartz and granite. And now, Mr. Neill Anderson, is that it?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you're doing my show today. We have a trailer we're going to watch of his about halfway through the show, and he's going to discuss it. I don't know much about him. I know the station's doing a documentary on him. I know he did a Patriots podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, I did do a show where I did mostly talk about the New England Patriots.
Okay.
And there were a couple of on-the-road editions I did.
Okay, where?
Well, one I did, this was back in 2017.
Okay.
Which was the 100th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's birth.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
We went to the John F. Kennedy birthplace, and I did a televised tour.
Okay.
And there was another one where I was very grateful to go check out the Edward Gorey House, and they're both on YouTube, and if you want to go check them out, please do.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Since 2017, so you've been doing it a while.
Actually, even before I was doing the show, and it was my ode to my opinions.
Okay.
But before I was even doing that, and actually, yeah, I did start out doing the local news with Dick Murphy, and unfortunately, he passed on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here at ECAT?
Here at ECAT.
Okay.
And even before it was ECAT, when the studio was in the Easton Industrial Parks.
Okay.
I used to go there, and I used to volunteer on Tuesday night trivia with Sean Thiel.
Okay.
And this was back in high school.
Wow, that's ancient history. Although you don't look that old. I'm just curious, how long ago was that?
Oh, this was back in like maybe the 90s. 1997 was my earliest time.
Wow.
When I was there. Back in the day, this was before the internet was the internet today.
Yeah, I guess it was, because I'm looking at you, and I would have thought you might have been born in 1997.
I was born in 1980.
Oh, wow. You're 40. Oh, I don't. Well, we don't
I'm
have to do the
44
math.
years old.
Wow. No, you drink from the fountain of youth, man. Okay. Well, tell me now. Speaking of the fountain of youth, what I do with just about everybody I interview, though, I like to find out what they were like as kids. So tell me. Let's talk about your childhood. Tell me where you grew up and what you did as a kid.
Well,
you look athletic. Did you play sports, music, anything like that? You tell me.
I did grow up here in Easton.
Okay.
I am a former special ed student who went through the Easton school system.
Okay.
And, well, it wasn't all great.
Oh, I know.
Okay, there were a lot of not so great things about school,
Okay.
but there were some good things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, Easton is a fine system. My nephew is a senior at OA now, so and he does very well, and he's lived his whole life in Easton also.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. All right. Well, aside from that, did you do any extracurricular activities that you might want to
yes,
talk
I
about
did
as well?
play football, both, and I'd never really got the starting position, but I did play football when I was a freshman. I did play sophomore year, but junior year was kind of, I got burnt out and I moved on to
Okay.
other things, but I did do the musicals a lot.
Oh, really? You were you did acting?
Yes.
Plays and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Did you sing at all?
Yes, but I wasn't the lead. I was a backup.
Oh, still, I mean, it's still they still let you on. They still didn't they didn't cut your vocal cords before they started the production, so that's
So
important.
that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the two that I remember, I was in Guys and Dolls,
Okay.
and that's all I remember. There were other musicals I was in, but I only remember Guys and Dolls right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah.
That's great though. So you've had some experience with that. Did you ever do any other acting as well? Like any film acting?
Well, a lot of, friends who were doing some college movies, and I unfortunately forgot the names of them.
Okay.
But there were some tiny parts that I did.
Okay, that's fine, but they're all significant. They even have to be, even if they're small. There's nothing wrong with. Did you go to college yourself? And if so, where?
I did go to Massasoit Community College, and I did do well, but because of financial decisions and because of my disorders,
Okay.
I realized that it was time to move on.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's fine. All right. Yeah. It's a good school. I sat out a couple of classes there before. Actually, before you were born, because it was in 1979.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm pushing the age button too. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so tell me about this documentary we're going to watch. We have a trailer.
All right.
To.
It's a documentary about me, and I know that to some people, what's so special? Back in 2012, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and it really was this, oh God, I felt like it was over. And it wasn't until, not to give all of it out, it was maybe late 2016
Okay.
where I had a major health scare. And I chose to change my life, change my habits. And I had so many improvements to the point where my health made so many improvements. And that's where I decided to make a movie about it,
Okay.
to talk about my improvements and what I had to do.
Oh.
And one of the reasons why obesity is so...
The cause of diabetes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't look obese now. You look like you've slimmed down. You're lean, muscular. Do you work out every day? You look like you do.
Well, I didn't get into hardcore calisthenics, weightlifting, or yoga. It was just go out there and take walks every day.
What was it?
Just get out there and take walks.
I'll take
every
walks.
day.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at you and you look like a super jock to me. I mean, that's all. You have that look. And that's a good thing. I mean, in all likelihood, you're going to inspire a lot of people from this documentary too.
Yep.
Because I know I myself have cheated death a bunch of times, and I've had some issues too, and I've had to make some lifestyle changes. And I never thought I'd live as long as I have. Not to mention doing what I'm doing now. So I've been there. I don't know if anyone's ever going to do a documentary about me, but hopefully that if they do, I just hope I'm alive to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
That's good.
And now this documentary it's been in the works now for quite a while, right?
Well, I forgot when I started it. I knew I was talking about it, but I was actually working with it.
Okay.
I don't know what year it was. There were a couple of people that I asked if they could just work with me.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they moved on, and I
You had to do it yourself? Or you
had
had to
to do
find
it
other
mys-
people?
eventually, and I think COVID was another thing that really took off.
Oh,
that
tell me
kind of
about
put,
it. I know.
production on hold. But there was also Joe,
Yep, Joe Taft, you mean?
Joe Taft.
Yep, because there was another Joe here before. I know what you mean. Yep.
When COVID was kind of cooling down, when
Yep.
COVID was, it's still here, but,
Right, it's still here.
but when it was kind of maintained, somebody was asking, hey, let's do another On the Road, and I just threw out the Edward Gorey thing.
Okay.
And that was kind of what brought me back, and I was like, okay, let's just finish this Edward Gorey thing, and when it's done, I'll get back into my movie. And that's where I approached Joe, and one of the best things I ever did, because Joe really knew how to work with me, and
Yep.
I was very grateful for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just finished it together, the two of us.
Okay, so as of now, it's finished.
Yeah.
And now, did you start this like in 2016 when you had that health scare? Is that when you started it, or was it after that? I mean, I know
It
it
was
after.
after, I don't know how long it took to start it.
Yeah, you
to
don't know
be
how long. I
on-
understand, but it's obviously it's been in the works a few years.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. Okay, and now does this include what? Does the documentary? I assume it profiles your daily life over a certain amount of time, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you have people like following you around with a camera, just like a reality
Yes.
show.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they add music and all kinds of stuff like that. And do you narrate part of it?
I do narrate part of it.
Okay, and do other people narrate other parts of it, or is it mostly you, or what
It's
else?
mostly me, but there's two other people
Okay.
that I'm interviewing,
Okay.
and I'm very grateful that they were being willing to be interviewed.
Okay, well you're interviewing. Okay, well so it's your documentary and you're interviewing other people.
Yes.
Okay, well tell me about the other people that you're interviewing and where do they come in? What do they do?
All right. There's a pastor.
Okay, a pastor like a religious man,
Yeah,
clergyman,
a minister.
Got it.
And I asked him if he'd be willing, because I don't know if he's a health food fanatic, but
Okay.
he does understand health.
Right.
And, I showed him this, it's a clip with Dr. Richard Cremona, who is a Surgeon General. I don't know if he still is, but he was at the time.
Okay.
And pretty much, I think that this was one thing, even before I started making it,
Yeah.
this movie, what caught my attention is that Dr. Richard Cremona mentioned that his number one concern here in the United States is obesity.
Okay.
And that was one thing that kind of gave me a wake-up call to kind of been like, oh my God, out of all things. And like he said, everybody is expecting earthquakes to all these disasters.
Right.
But it's obesity is his concern.
Okay.
And that's where Steve decided to do a sermon on that thing.
Okay.
And it was taped, and I was grateful that he was letting me use that clip in my movie.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right.
And then we also asked if the nutritionist who was working with me could at least come in and just talk.
Okay.
And I was very grateful.
Oh, okay. And this was how long ago? If you're not sure, that's fine. But I figured within the last 5 years.
Yes, well, it was a lot sooner than 5 years ago.
Oh, it was. Now, do these people have shows here at the station too?
No, they don't.
All right, let's come on. This Richard, is he? Did you say he was the Surgeon General?
He was how they introduced him
Okay.
when I saw him on some clips of they introduced him as a Army Surgeon General.
Okay. So, okay, I assume he worked in the military with people, cadets that needed to be whipped into shape, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Were you ever in the military? You look like
No,
you
no,
weren't.
I was
Okay.
never in the military.
Yeah, I didn't think you were, but as long as we're talking about the military. All right. So, well, tell me about what are the lifestyle changes you made too?
Well, I stopped drinking soda.
Okay.
I stopped having sugar. Stopped having candy. Replaced, milk and water. My coffee, no sugar, just half and half cream. And there was, when it came to carbs, I didn't stop eating it, but I cut the
Right, cut
carbs
back,
down.
yep.
Like
Good idea.
I didn't really eat a lot of pancakes. Like when I would go out,
Yeah.
I would have big omelets with vegetables.
Oh yeah, that's a tempting meal. I believe me. I'm a glutton from way back, so I know. But you can you could eat you could still eat an omelet, right? I mean, isn't that
Oh,
healthy?
like I said,
With
when I
vegetables?
went a big omelet with veggies.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's something you can eat. That's
Yes,
allowed. All right,
yes.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's delicious. I know. You wouldn't happen to be a vegetarian, would you?
Well, and I do remember, I never personally met him, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't know if he ever really said it, but it was red
Okay.
because of, global warming and all that other stuff, that he decided not to be a full-time vegan vegetarian, but at least maybe a part-time.
Okay.
And it's like maybe not full-time, but at least bring in some vegan vegetarian meals in my diet.
All right, well, guess what? We're about halfway through the show. I'm going to watch a little trailer of Neill's documentary, and we'll come right back to talk about it. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The heaviest that I'm aware of, I was 308 pounds. I really ignored my health declining. I was on a lot of pills to the point where I started taking a pill case. And I realized that I'm not at the age that I should be taking that right now, but you know what? I am.
Obesity is something of a terror within. Obesity strikes all aspects of American life at a time in which we've never produced more food. We have an obesity and food crisis in this country.
It's a very overwhelming plague, unfortunately. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, which makes it even more paralyzing for people.
If I don't change my lifestyle, the rate I'm going, I never really knew exactly what was going to happen. I never thought that this was going to happen mid to late 30s.
Paul on the road to Damascus gets struck down and he becomes a Christian, right? So it's those moments of revelation and transformation are how most people have a religious shift. So a shift in diet is no different.
I went from a size 40 all the way down to a 34.
Go and sin no more, son.
This diet's not temporary. This diet is for life. So it's a trailer about my movie that, and yeah, I just cringe looking at myself, and yeah, I do hear that actors and actresses have that same problem.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the movie about me who had to make some lifestyle changes to get healthy.
Right, okay.
And I realized.
Okay, yeah, it's awesome. All right. Have you ever, listen, I mean, you look very fit now. Would you ever consider maybe doing personal training with other people? Because somebody like you would be very inspirational for that. And you'd probably, I mean, even if, somebody that looks healthy and fit has an opportunity to do something like that, even if they're not, number one, you can make money doing that. My brother does it. He's a weightlifter from he did it. I don't think he still does. Number two, you could learn a lot of things that could sustain you for the next 40, 50 years for yourself too. Read a few books, go to a gym. Do you belong to a gym at all?
I did, but lately I've been finding it, and I think it was COVID that
Oh, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of put me in that,
Okay.
where I would just get up and just get outside and walk.
Okay, so basically, you know, at this time you really don't. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, you might be able to. I think you would be a reputable trainer if you could, you know, learn a few, you know, workout routines with weights, and you could probably, you know, talk to people, try to get them on board, and, you know, and you can have an extra career for yourself. That's just an idea. I always try to give ideas to my guests that might behoove them. You definitely look like you could do that.
Well, I don't think I'm qualified.
No, it's
but
okay. Well, that's up to you. It's that. The bottom line, at the end of the day, it's your decision. Let's talk. Can we talk a little about your Patriots podcast? Because
Okay, sure. Well, I haven't done it in years, unfortunately.
Okay.
It was once Tom Brady left,
oh,
I kind of lost interest.
I did too. And then the game from the other day, and now I'm back on the bandwagon. And then maybe you're thinking about it as well.
Well, okay, here's my thing.
And look at our backdrop. Isn't that awesome?
It's awesome.
It is.
No, it's really good.
It is.
No, it really is nice.
Yeah.
No, I forgot, and maybe I keep forgetting certain things. It was like an NFL season. I think it was 16 weeks games.
Now it's
so there's
17 games.
17.
First time ever. It's an odd number of games. It's starting last
hold
year.
on. So it's like, okay, so it's 18 weeks. So we have like 17 more weeks to go.
Right.
So it's like, okay, just take it slow. I'm just hoping that we could just have a good, successful run in the regular season and get into the playoffs.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's fine. I guess everybody sees it differently. I know you love the game. You watch it. You've obviously thought enough of it to start a podcast when you did. And it's an awesome sport. You played it yourself.
Yes.
In high school, and so I always like it. Talking about sports especially in the fall. This is the best time of year for sports. And the Patriots, when they come along and they win on the road in the opening game and nobody expects it. It looks it's something that keeps my eyes fluttering for the next 3 months.
Yeah. I think I remember, and I forgot what year it was.
I might remember what happened, and maybe I can tell you.
We lost the opening game.
Okay.
And I forgot which game it was. I forgot who we were playing against, and I forgot.
Well, let me see if I can refresh your memory. Could it have been Buffalo in 2003 when we got shut out on the road, and then we came back, and then they won the Super Bowl again. It was the 2003 into 2000.
I know, but no, it wasn't that, because I
Wasn't that
remember.
year?
It wasn't that year, because I remember.
They lost 31-0 in that year, and then they won the final game 31-0, and then went on to win the Super Bowl. That was the second in 3 years.
Yeah. But like I said, I forgot exactly what season it was or what team they played against, but we lost.
Okay.
And I said something like, 2001, 2003, we lost, and we went to the Super Bowl
and won.
And I think that was a year that we did go to the Super Bowl and won. Again, I forgot what year it was.
Okay, that's fine, but they've done that before. They found it seems like every Super Bowl they've won, they've won it in a crazier fashion than the previous ones, in the most improbable way.
I think I look back, and now this is funny. When the Patriots went to the Super Bowl against Atlanta.
Yep.
I remember
10 years ago.
Ugh, wow.
No, actually, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That was 2017, just 8 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
They've been to so many Super Bowls, I kind of lost count.
That's good. They won 6 of them.
Yeah. But no, I remember when I really thought that they were going to lose to the
Everybody
point.
down 25-3 at halftime? Yes, I agree. We all kind of thought that.
I remember at the time I just said, okay,
28-3 they were down.
You know what? Like, I had a few friends over, and it's like, you know what, do you want to leave? And they all said, yeah. And I think because at my work that has a gym, and this is before COVID,
Yep.
I went to the gym and just went on the treadmill, and that's when I heard they won.
Wow. And they didn't even have the game on at the gym?
It was just so painful that I just said, I want to get out of here.
Everyone probably said, to hell with it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's true. I mean, they did that, and then of course you had prior to that was the Seattle win when they got that interception. That guy Butler.
I remember, I was at a friend's house for that one, and
Okay.
I remember it was like I was just preparing for, okay, they lost.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep, I know.
And
And then they
then-
come back and pull it out.
I was just expecting a touchdown, but when Butler caught, it was just like for a minute there, we were like, what happened? What happened? Then when I realized it, I think it was like, oh yeah, we were all like dancing around
Yeah,
that
of
living
course.
room and hugging each other.
Even in their losses, they were all like last-second thrillers. I mean, remember the Tyree game when it should have been, Giants 2008 when they had the perfect season, obviously.
And and I said it before in my podcast. I said, all right, at first it was painful.
Yes.
But as the years went on, it was like, we lost, they won. We have to accept that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know we have to accept it, but I remember there's the Tyree game, and then a lot of people may not remember that in 2012 they had that Hail Mary to welcome. Brady threw a Hail Mary to welcome. He almost caught it with time expiring, and it just dropped into the end zone. That would have been another win for him. But that's the game. I mean, you're going to have wins and losses. But until the Patriots started winning those Super Bowls, most of those Super Bowls have been like blowouts, boring, boring blowouts.
Yeah. But I think that it wasn't just the Patriots. I think that there were a lot of and I know I was quite young, but like the 80s, like the first one that we went to with the
86.
Bears. Yeah, I was 6 years old.
I was 25.
Cool.
I was 26 actually. I was already and I was watching it from my college textbook. Yeah, that was pretty thrilling. I mean, they won 3 games on the road to get there. No team had ever done that before. Squish the fish.
I was too young to remember.
You were too young to remember? Okay.
But actually, I do remember. I remember that game being a blowout. I
Right.
think that game was a blowout, but I remember there were other games in that time that were blowouts, and then it's like, yes, I like it better when they're not blowouts.
Of course, because that's
Because-
what makes it fun.
And it doesn't matter if it's the Patriots or other two teams playing.
Right, okay. Well, on that note, Neil, we're under 5 minutes. I hope you had fun talking to me.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you were willing to have me on your show.
Are you
and-
kidding? I knew you'd be a great guest, and you didn't disappoint me. All right, well, here's what I want you to do in the remaining time, like I ask every guest, is just look at the camera, give a few shouts out to people they're going to see, friends, family. I don't know if you have kids or wife or anything, but...
No. Just hi, everyone. And like I said, I just completed a documentary film called Downsize Me.
That's what it's called. Awesome.
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
And it's a movie about the quest to the changes I had to make living with type 2 diabetes. And so, yeah, that's what the movie's about. And I do have to say, I was working on another title because of,
I love that title.
Supersize Me.
Okay.
And it's like I was trying to find something. I just couldn't find anything. So it's just going with it.
Yeah, I mean, it fits. It's perfect. It's like, it fits like hands on a glove, basically. It turns on a glove. It's a perfect title. Okay, great. Okay, well, now do you have, aside from the documentary, is there anything coming up? I always ask everybody this too. Is there anything that you have coming up that you might want to mention before we wrap the show up? I just want to make sure we cover everything.
All right. I'll just say it. I'll just put it this way. There are a lot of things that I'm working on.
Okay.
But I just don't want to
Give away too much?
give out too much. But there are other things that I'm working on.
Okay. That's great. Okay. That's awesome. So do you have a family? Do you have a wife and kids?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, in a way, that's kind of good because it frees you up for doing other things.
Yep.
Okay. Well, have you ever considered like maybe writing a book as well?
There were some ideas I had.
Yeah. Have you ever done any writing at all?
Yes, I have.
Well, we still got few seconds. Talk about the writing. What did you write?
There were times that I would just take notes on future documentary films, like this one that I'm making now,
Yep.
or I just finished. There were a lot of things I was digging up, and I realized that there were things that I just can't put into this movie, but I realized that there could be some future projects down the road.
Okay.
So those were kind of the writings I did.
Okay, so you have, yeah, all right. So I assume that you probably had to do some scrolling for this documentary too. You probably spent a lot of time writing, taking notes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't just I mean, you can wing it, but you still needed to have it organized to some degree. And you had to know what you would do. You had to know what everyone expected of you going in and what you expected of everyone else.
Yes.
Do you still keep in touch with the Surgeon General?
I never knew the surgeon.
The one you were talking about. What's his name?
Oh, Stephen Wilson. I do keep in touch with him.
Okay. And what about the doctor that you said, the one that, did you say he was a Surgeon General that you had in the documentary?
Well,
Or
I
the,
never
you know, the Army guy. You were telling me the medical corps guy. Medical corps guy.
I never personally met him, but
Okay.
I saw interviews of him that Stephen Wilson showed me.
Okay, you didn't actually. He wasn't in the documentary.
No. I just mentioned Steve Wilson.
Okay. All right. Well, you did a wonderful job, and we're going to wrap the show up now. We're going to snap it like we did at the beginning. And if you want to snap away, you did a great job at the beginning. You obviously got rhythm. You ever played music at all? You ever done any musicals? I know that's right. You sang in Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls.
No, and played an instrument ever?
I tried the violin,
Okay.
but it just didn't go anywhere.
Didn't go
but
in.
I
All right,
tried.
just wanted to make sure. All right, we're going to wrap the show up. Thanks, folks. More great Topic Time shows to come up. Coming on, we're going to snap up and roll out. There we go.